bird. See if I can get him growling on camera. Teddy, you're bird. You're bird. That's super.
Sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Hey everyone, Dave here, December 1773, and this is The Weekly Show. A little different than normal. We will not have Ryan on today, but yeah, we're going to keep just going. We do have studio guests there on the floor. It is Eve and the vicious Teddy the Poodle, as you will hear. He's vicious. And Mo downstairs, you can hear him as well. Obviously, without Ryan, it's going to be a very different show here, so I still wanted to give a show for all of you to watch. So we're going to just go through our quick little headline segment like we normally would, and then kind of just be done there. But we do have some good headlines to get to you at least this week. It should be a little bit shorter of a show than normal, and we will have Eve on the floor in studio reacting to these as well.
Hi.
Ryan has been saying on the show that Mo! Quiet! Jesus Christ. The worst. Ryan has been saying on the show that he does not trust China and he's not a big fan of No! Beat his ass.
Every time you start to talk,
I swear to God, he's the worst.
he can hear you talking.
No!
Were you going to say something? As soon as you say something, he's going to bark.
Ryan has been saying on the show that he does not trust China, and that leads us into our first headline of the night. Headlines! NY Post editorial board, China's deadly COVID cover-up was worse than we had thought. So basically, China, when the initial disease outbreak happened, of course, COVID-19, they did do some major covering up. There was communist China social media intervention to limit the outreach of the virus concerns, which sounds familiar. If you've noticed, our social media has been quite restrictive on the things that you are allowed to say. So we're not much different, I guess, from that aspect. But China, not only that, but they have been changing their numbers to make it look like the virus hasn't been as bad. The outbreak wasn't as bad there, and that they're quarantining. Got rid of the virus. There's evidence to show that that was not the case.
Is that really surprising?
That China would lie about
Right.
a virus
Considering
that
they
outbroke
kill
in their
own
country?
civilians over stuff they post, and lock them up. Like, is that really surprising?
It's surprising to global entities like the World Trade or Health Organization and the United Nations.
Okay, well, it's not surprising to me.
But no, for most people, especially people who watch the show, that's probably not surprising at all. China, obviously, covering it up. It originated there. We tried to lock everything down as soon as we could, so we know the origination of the virus couldn't get here, but obviously it got here anyway, despite our best efforts. And of course, it's spread around. It's a virus, so that's what viruses do. Also, what viruses do, we mentioned last week that the virus is mutating. That, again, shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who has ever, I don't know, had basic knowledge on viruses.
Yeah, but the good news this season is we don't have the flu anymore.
Yes. Yes, there has not been a flu. The COVID-19 has destroyed the flu and pneumonia. That's how I like to say pneumonia. Don't put a P in there if you're not going to say it. Stupid silent P's. Headlines! Millions face loss of jobless benefits as Trump withholds signature on the relief bill.
Can we just, real quick, boo! Boo the bill!
Yeah.
Who would sign it?
I would not sign that either, and I think it's important to note that there were a few brave people who voted against it. They should be.
There were also Democrats, though.
Yeah,
Like, most people are, all for the Republicans that do stuff like that, but there were quite a few Democrats that were like, no, this is ridiculous.
The bill is 5,500 pages plus long, and they were giving less than a day to read it and vote on it. I'm a fairly efficient reader when I don't read out loud. I can't get through 5,500 pages in 7 hours.
I read, not in 7 hours, but remember, I started reading it. It took me hours. It took me, hours and hours and hours, and I kept going back and, rereading things because I was like, there's no way they're putting this in here.
So, to be clear, somebody in this house has read more of the bill than most of the people who voted on it.
Yes.
And it's not even the person who does the show, which is hilarious. She was sending me screenshots of all the worst parts of the bill, which is pretty much all of it. Obviously, a 5,500-page bill doesn't need to be that long to send out $600 checks. So obviously there was stuffed in there. You don't even need to be all that smart to figure that out. You don't need 5,500 pages to do that. I'm glad he didn't sign it. I hope he holds off. More virus news. I always love a good projection, considering the original projections of this virus made it seem a lot worse than it's been so far. Headlines. December is the deadliest month in the U.S. since the coronavirus pandemic began, and projections for January are, quote, nightmarish.
Well, yeah, because they don't talk about the flu anymore, so flu-like symptoms.
Yeah, this is
COVID.
This is flu season. The CDC on their own website does admit that they lump in flu deaths and pneumonia deaths with coronavirus deaths. Not to mention the fact that nobody's getting diagnosed with the flu now, because if you have any type of symptom, of course, people just assume you have coronavirus, and they do coronavirus testing on you. And of course, the coronavirus test, especially the rapid test, is not very accurate at all. So really, I don't know. Who knows how many people have actually had it and how many people died from it.
The coronavirus and the flu, and how we don't have any flu deaths this year because the Rona.
Because of the Rona. Because you're not allowed to have the flu anymore. You are only allowed to have the Rona.
We were just talking about the flu shot, actually, with your dad yesterday, and Jamie. This year, normally every year, we get pamphlets, you need to get your flu shot. This year, nothing. Not even for Nolan.
That's because the flu doesn't exist anymore.
That's what I said. Doesn't exist.
Not to mention the flu vaccine is only, 20% effective anyway.
I don't ever get it.
I don't think I've ever gotten it. I'll probably start to get it when I'm older.
Nolan gets it. When he was in, preschool,
Sure.
when he was around other kids, yeah, he got it, but
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm not going to get it because I have this thing called an immune system. And it kills viruses. It's kind of neat how it works. This is some good old-fashioned playing the black card here. Headlines. Black doctor dies of COVID-19 after accusing hospital of racial bias. Yeah, coronavirus only kills African Americans, apparently. I don't even understand what the point the doctor was trying to make was. I don't get it. Everyone gets the virus. Isn't that the thing? Isn't that what everyone's saying?
Yeah, I don't have any input
Millions
here.
of people have had it.
I don't understand.
Millions of people have had it. Hundreds of thousands have died from it. We're going to try and make it a black-white issue. I don't know. Never.
Is there more to that story?
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you read through the whole story, it's nothing major. The doctor basically said that because he was black, that he wasn't getting the treatment or whatever, that he was, I don't know. It's nonsense. Everyone was getting... I'm going to assume everyone was getting the same treatment for COVID-19.
Especially if you're a doctor.
Yeah, you're probably getting better treatment, if anything.
Right.
I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. We don't need to make everything a black-white issue in this country. This is interesting news because you would think that with everything going on, with everything shut down, and of course we all are desperate for these stimulus checks, and we're all very nervous because Trump hasn't signed the bill yet. Headlines: U.S. holiday retail sales rise 3% as online shopping booms in a MasterCard report. Any surprise?
Nope. We did all of our Christmas shopping online. Not that you would know, but all of our Christmas shopping was done online.
Yeah. I mean, duh.
Hermit life.
I don't know what people... I don't know what the expectation was. I mean...
I don't understand why they didn't see this coming before this. Even before, like, this whole virus and shutdown stuff. It's not like people were going to malls as much as they used to. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
that's been
online sales have been rising. Brick and
Yeah.
mortar stores are dead.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it takes way more overhead to run a brick and mortar store. I mean, you got to have... First of all, you got to have just the retail floor staff to make the store operate, and then you got the rent and the insurance, and then you got to pay payroll tax, and it's obviously running things online is far more efficient. It's a shame though, because there's something nice about, I don't know,
Going shopping.
going to the store and
Yeah.
seeing the thing you're going to buy in person. And Eve does this fun thing where she buys stuff online and doesn't know what size it is.
I just guess.
She
Well,
got
I hope
this.
this fits.
She got this thing recently to put blankets under the table.
I don't look at the
She doesn't look at
measurements.
measurements or anything, so the thing that she got barely holds 2 of the blankets. Like it's,
No, it's
you gotta
fine.
fold it into like 20 way folds. But yeah, I don't know. It's a shame, but it's not surprising. I mean, the story was Jeff Bezos had doubled his net worth on a coronavirus, and that's because, well, they shut down all the shops, and the only place you could go was Walmart or Amazon. So obviously, people who have online stores are going to be doing better, and obviously Walmart was going to do better because you kind of forced them to go there.
That's a whole issue in itself.
What,
They left Walmart open.
Oh,
Wouldn't
yeah.
they have been better off leaving like small shops open?
Yes, because you'd have fewer people
Right.
more spread out versus having everyone
Everybody going to Walmart?
shoved into a Walmart. Logic is hard
Not
to
the
find.
strong suit.
I kind of like this because I hope this is actually true. Headlines. GOP rep states Trump is trying to burn the place down on the way out. If the place that Congressman Adam Kinzinger is referring to is the federal government, good for him. It's the best thing he would have done in 4 years. I don't know. They're obviously the federal government with the most recent stimulus attempt and even the first one. Obviously, they're not very good at being the federal government. We need to just... That's why they just need to get out of the way. I don't
No,
know.
see, I didn't read the first stimulus. Did you read any of it?
Yeah, there's all types of pork in there, too.
Oh, okay.
But we got bigger checks. So people just...
Weren't as mad.
They weren't as mad, and I don't know. I think it was early enough.
I can understand the pain, some of them. Like, the pain and the anger, though. Because if you're going to shut them down, you better be willing to help.
Yeah.
You shouldn't shut them down to begin with.
Yeah, that's the right answer is don't shut them down in the first place.
But if you're going to shut them down, then you better be willing to help. And $600 for a lot of these people that live in cities, like in Pennsylvania, if you live in Pittsburgh, $600 is nothing. That's not even going to cover your rent.
It doesn't cover it in most
Right.
in most places. I mean, not even let alone a mortgage, but just renting a studio apartment in New York City is like $2,000 a month if it's a decent studio apartment.
So, I mean, I feel for the people, and I understand why everybody's mad. You've been fortunate enough to be working. I mean, I'm not working anymore.
No, we only had
School
that. Yeah, we
closed.
had that weird month off, and then we just got right back to it. But
I was working for a while, then the school closed, so I'm not working now. But, I mean, we're fortunate enough that you're working, because if not, yeah, we'd have to dip into savings, and then we would be in the same position as other people.
yeah, there's
So-
definitely people who are pretty rough right now, and the fact that
they're throwing $600 and thinking that's gonna, smooge everybody over is a slap to the American people.
yeah, especially since they put them in that position in the first place. This is a good one because, of course, will get blamed for being transphobic after saying this. Headlines. Federal judge rules inmate convicted of sexually assaulting child should get gender reassignment surgery on taxpayer dime. Quote from the judge was, "She has waited long enough." That's good. Can't, I don't know.
So, I should not speak on this because I will piss off all of your viewers. So, yeah, we're just gonna...
Why is that?
If you touch a kid, if you get, like...
No, most of my viewers... No, most of... To be clear, most of our viewers are Republicans, so they'd actually be on board with what you're saying.
You know, I don't care if you want to identify as a male or female. That's on you, whatever, fine.
Sure,
but
I don't...
you touched a kid, you should be dead. That's... you. There should be no in jail at all. You should just be dead. You don't deserve gender reassignment surgery. You deserve a bullet to the head. End of story.
This is not the easiest time to explain my position on this because obviously I very much hate pedophiles and I wish the worst on them. But I don't. I've found myself in a weird place where I don't agree with the death penalty.
We are completely different on a lot of things, and that is one of them.
It's two reasons. One, I don't trust the government to get anything right, so I definitely don't trust them to have people's lives in their hands. That's the main reason. If it's... You can sort of win me if it's a super open and shut thing, but I just don't... I don't know. There's too much to be up in the air that I don't trust the government to get that right. And
well, that's a like system flaw.
yeah,
We're talking if people are convicted of it and there is proof. Like that's what I'm.
That's what I mean though. Like it better be a. I mean, how many times have you seen things of wrongful convictions?
A lot. Yeah, there is quite.
That's the main reason I've found myself in a position where I don't agree with the death penalty. And that the other thing is, I just don't like the idea of the federal government having the kind of power that they could just on a whim take someone out. I just it doesn't sit right with me. But it's the worst time to explain it because obviously I hate pedophiles. So, you know, this person getting a gender reassignment surgery and getting paid for by taxpayers because I don't know what the logic is. Maybe it's cruel to keep them. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. It doesn't matter. But
then what do? Do they transfer... Wait, is it a male transitioning to a female?
I'm guessing because the judge...
Then do they put them into a female prison?
Well, she is a female.
So do they put her into a female prison? Like, how does it work?
Maybe. That's a really good way to get out of a male prison, though. If you're a slightly less powerful gentleman and you don't want to be... you don't want to be the bitch.
But, like... Make it 100% clear here. Like, I'm not a transphobe.
I'm guessing because they are... They're a woman in their eyes. So we have to respect that, apparently, and do... I don't know, I'm guessing she's going to go to a female.
No. You were convicted. There was proof that you were doing something to a child. Dead. Don't care.
That would make this... particular case a little bit easier. But no, the judge has ruled that they will get the gender reassignment surgery. So, I don't know. Again,
you'll have to follow up on that one. And I wonder if they'll, like, tell where they go. If they stay, if they go to a female prison.
I would guess.
I'm pretty curious about it.
Yeah, I would guess they would. We have... Yeah, I don't want to get too much into the transgender thing. I don't really care what people want to do. I just don't agree with taxpayer funding a gender reassignment surgery. Teddy, you're not vicious.
No, he's tired.
I got two more really, but I wanted to end on the alien note. Me and Ryan have had a couple different alien discussions. I can't get Ryan to come on board with us quite yet on the alien front, but we'll get him. But before that, headlines. Study finds UV LED lights killed 99.9% of coronavirus in 30 seconds. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. If you don't agree with that, you're a science denier. It's the study. That's what the study says. I didn't do the study. It was a study. So, yeah, if that is true, which according to the study it was, yeah, nothing like shutting down the entire United States of America for a virus that can be killed by a LED lamp. I have access to a UV LED in my house because of my fish tank. We have some UV LEDs, so
My plant lights.
boom, UV LEDs. We can just go take 30-second baths. We'll put one at the door. Before you enter, you got to sit in the UV LED for 30 seconds. Also, I seem to remember Trump making a comment about this a long time ago, and he got laughed at.
When he was talking about injecting bleach or whatever,
Yeah.
and everybody was up in arms.
Yeah, he also mentioned UV light that was killing the virus, and was, oh, Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not a scientist. Well, here you go. Here's the science. There was a study that showed it. It's true. So, yeah, the bleach comment was not his best moment. Not his best moment, I'll admit. And then finally, we can end on a fun note. This is not really, it's a headline technically, but this is really just the opinion of one scientist. Headlines. There used to be aliens in our galaxy, but they killed themselves off. And this is basically a new mathematical scientific model that suggests that there was life in our galaxy, in our very galaxy, and that it ended up killing itself off. I don't know if it was in they didn't really specify in the article if it was in a violent way or if it was COVID-19 that killed them, but there is definitely proof.
Did you say if COVID killed them?
It could have been alien COVID. We don't know. They probably shut down the economy and all died of starvation. I don't know. But yeah, that's what one person is saying. One scientific person suggests in their theory. Do you like the theory of the...
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt there was, on Mars, there was potential for life there. Have they found it? No. But do we go walk around Mars all the time? No.
It's true.
So,
They did note... I mean, people already know that Mars had water on the planet. They had
Right.
ice caps, and I don't even want to get into a climate change discussion, but they were talking about how it used to be water and then it froze and now it was melting again, potentially, and that they have climate change on Mars, which is obviously from all the carbon footprint from the aliens driving big coal-powered cars.
aliens.
But yeah, aliens.
I don't know. I believe in aliens, not green Martian men running around, obviously. But
To be clear, I mean, it depends on your definition of alien. We already know...
we talked about this a lot.
Yeah, it depends on your definition of alien. I mean, if your definition of alien is any life outside of Earth, we've already found it. I mean, there's already single-cell bacteria and everything that we found on other planets. So we know there's life on other planets. Then if you get into the idea of intelligent life, multi-cell organisms and things like that, I mean, obviously we haven't seen proof.
We haven't seen
technically,
proof, but if you believe that there are all of those stars out there and all of those other galaxies and there isn't one intelligent species out there,
yeah,
then no.
Well,
There's something wrong with
what
that.
did I read the other day? The person said that for every star in the universe, there's likely one planet.
There has to be. There has
So
to
if you think of all the stars that you see, somebody's saying there's at least one planet for every star.
Maybe there's some out there that are more evolved than us. Maybe there's planets out there that have dinosaurs or something similar to that. Maybe there's it's endless. There's endless possibilities. But to think that there is no life out there is just being very narrow-minded because
I think Ryan's thing is that
it's not proven yet, that we can't prove
not
it.
that it's not possible, but that until he sees it, he won't believe it.
Which is, I guess, a good philosophy to have.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair enough.
Because we don't even know that we're not in a simulation. We could be. We don't even know if the galaxy is real. We could just be in a
We
computer or
have
something.
Alex Jones on the show today. We are living in a simulation.
We could be. Can you prove that we're not?
No.
Exactly.
No, you can't prove a lot. I mean, technically, you can't prove a lot of things.
Matrix. Maybe we're all just hooked up to a computer.
We definitely are hooked up to a computer. That's what it feels like. Take a walk anywhere and just see somebody staring into their phone as they walk.
My favorite was that, like, the saying that we're just like an ant farm on some alien's shelf. That, like, we were a science experiment and that we're just living in a jar on some alien shelf.
That would be super awkward.
Isn't that really crazy to think about? That we could just be like an ant farm to them?
Yeah, like we don't
watching us.
Well, that brings up a really weird point though. Like, do ants know how small they are? You know what I mean? Do they understand that they're as small as they are? Like, people with dogs would know this. Anyone with a dog knows that, like, small dogs don't know that they're small and big dogs don't know that they're big. Like, it's hard to know your size in the grand scheme of things.
And until you stop and think about it, it's something that you just overlook. You know, the first time I really felt small was the first time I went to the ocean. And, like, I looked at the ocean and was like, wow.
Yeah, I don't think nobody has the brain, this isn't like a negative thing, but nobody has a brain that can imagine the size and the scale of space. Because nobody can even imagine the size and the scale of the ocean.
Right.
Like, what we saw, too, was such a minuscule part of the ocean. It's only what your eye can see, but...
And when we look at the sky, all we see is tiny stars.
Yeah.
We don't see galaxies, we don't see other planets. Like, we see the moon, but the moon is small to us.
And even with telescopes and stuff, you can only see so far. So we don't... Just people in general have no idea how big space is. It's literally... To our knowledge, it's literally ever expanding. It doesn't...
So, yeah. To me, saying there's no life out there at all, it seems very unlikely that there isn't something.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
In parallel universes, you know.
That's the other thing, too, is people, different dimensions and stuff. I don't necessarily...
Too many coincidences. Too many. Name spellings and stuff. No, Mandela effect. There's something.
I don't want to get into the Mandela
it's all
effect.
crazy.
I really don't want to get the Mandela effect because I get mad. How do so many people remember that movie with Sinbad and it didn't exist? It was a real movie. I remember quotes from the movie, lines from the movie. I remember the whole thing, and I have a terrible memory, and I remember it. So, why? How can I remember a movie that didn't exist when I can't even remember things that happened in real life? And I remember it with multiple other people.
Simulation.
That's weird.
They're feeding you your memories.
Maybe. I'm telling you, I can't wait till Neuralink comes out. I'm going to get shipped. I don't care. I need it. I do. I need an extra hard drive up there. I can't remember.
It's not even like Google hasn't heard us talking about things, so...
Yeah, I'm way beyond...
It's not any different.
I'm way beyond the concern of...
them listening to us.
Yeah, I don't... Go for it.
They don't really hear anything interesting.
Not really. What they do hear...
On repeat.
Yeah, I mean, it's what they do hear. They end up not letting other people hear anyway, so I don't... Whatever. Go for it.
But whoever is listening to us, hi. Whoever gets to listen to our Google Home.
Also, whoever's listening to us on the show, and I don't mean the people watching the show, I mean whoever's behind the scenes listening when they're not supposed to, if you could please let our show be seen by people, that'd be great.
Now, why would they do that?
It's getting pretty old.
But if you are watching and you're a fan, remember, go to YouTube and subscribe. Like the page, share the video, comment below. When you comment, it boosts whatever, right?
Yeah,
you get a boost in your algorithm or whatever.
for people who don't know, the more people comment and react to our videos, the more the platforms, Facebook or YouTube, whatever, picks up on it and they say like, oh, this is a good video. A lot of people are watching this and commenting on it and whatever. So they'll show it to more people because ultimately YouTube and Facebook want their platform to be successful. So the best way to do that is people who have successful content, they just share that because obviously people want to watch it. And then it goes and grows and grows and grows and grows. So, yeah.
Make sure you do all those things.
Do those things. It'll help.
Help the little guys out.
It'll help fight off the social media warlords, Facebook and YouTube. It's the last thing they would want, so it should be the thing that you would want most. I think that's fair to say to our audience. But I think that's it. This has been a very different episode of the weekly show, but the show must go on. So, we have Eve and Ted in studio. Ted is the vicious dog that you heard growling. And we'll see you next time. Maybe it'll be a little back to normal next Monday, but we'll see you next time, and thanks everyone for watching.
Leave a comment that you want me to keep coming on the show.
If people comment that you want
Bring me back.
we can maybe have you on the show more.
Yeah. Talk about aliens.
We can talk more about aliens. Maybe we'll do an
Parallel
alien.
universe.
Maybe we'll do an alien specific show on like Tuesdays or something. We'll only talk about aliens. Maybe sciencey, nerdy stuff. I don't care.
Oh my god, that would be so much fun.
We can do sciencey, nerdy shows. I don't care, even though I'm a science denier, obviously. At least that's what I've been told.
Yeah, we differ on that too, so that's...
I don't... Yeah, we'll save that for... We'll end it there, and we'll save it for another episode where we can talk about...
By telling you that our house is fun with debates.
We can save it for another episode where we'll talk about my science denial. Which... It's not science denial.
Bye!